Hi, I was reflecting on something today as I was trimming my nails before I had some massage to do. Because as a therapist, I have a few tools in my toolbox, one of them being massage as a very trauma-informed approach to touch that I use. Um, but as I was trimming my nails and thinking that how pleased I was that they were looking good, because for many years I bit my nails. Ever since I could remember as a child, I used to bite my nails. That was the sort of self soothing mechanism I seem to have found to help me deal with stresses since childhood. And in adulthood, every now and again, I might have managed to stop temporarily, but I would start again. And when training in one of the modalities I now have that I can offer clients, I volunteered to be a case study one session because I desperately wanted to stop biting my nails. I was so ashamed of the state of my fingernails. So we did a session, and the next day I wasn't biting my nails and I was over the moon and they grew longer. And a few months later, I was stressed out and I was biting my nails again. And at the time, I was disappointed, but I did remember from my training over the years that dealing with the symptom is all very well, but it'll keep happening. You need to keep using your coping mechanism if you haven't dealt with the cause. Why were you using this self-soothing mechanism? Whether that be nail biting for me, thankfully I didn't find drugs or alcohol first, or eating too much, or shopping too much, or gambling, or sex, or all the kind of things that people do, the bad habits and behaviours that they really wish they weren't doing, but they can't seem to stop. Um, that's because that's their self-soothing mechanism that they found that works for them. So the body's really clever at doing that, finding something that kind of works. Unfortunately, most of it long term doesn't do us any favors, and so um, we try to get um, things to stop us from doing that. We try to go into rehab, or we do um, New Year's resolutions, or we do talking therapies, or we do all sorts of things to try and stop the negative behaviour that we've been using, and then disappointed when it doesn't really work, or if it works for a while, then we find ourselves going, falling off the wagon and going back on it again. Um, so for me, I did some more work with the um, thing that I was training in. And a couple of times I stopped biting my nails again, but then started up again when I got stressed because I hadn't yet found my cause, what I was, what triggered my um, solution of nail biting. And it wasn't until I was doing something from my childhood that I had done some work on already, but clearly not quite correctly. I was doing this particular session and we didn't talk about nail biting whatsoever at all. But the next day I stopped biting and I continued to stop biting and my nails grew longer. And this year, things have been incredibly stressful. There's been a lot going on that I'm not going to go into. But look at these nails. Where are they? They're still not bitten. Um, I was able to trim them down before my massage that I had to do today. And they are clean. They are um, looking good, despite all the stresses that I'm going through at the minute. And I'm not out of the woods yet with these things, but I'm not using my coping mechanism. I don't need to. I've dealt with the cause of what was triggering me. So I'm no longer triggered by that. I don't need to use it anymore. So if you've got a habit or behaviour that you really wish you didn't do and you've tried everything in the past to stop, it could be that there's something more to explore, and I can help you to do that because that's what I'm trying to do. So if you want to find out a bit more, get in touch. We can have a chat and we can discuss what it is that's going on for you, and I can let you know whether I think that I can help, or perhaps if there's something else that I think would be better, I can signpost you to that. So I can't wait to hear from you. Bye for now.